Hey, how you doing? I'm MK0, and I'm going Hollywood once in a lifetime, or maybe twice, on the ultimate thrill ride, where it all begins again 10 years in the making. Big time! Yeah, that's right. We're talking about WrestleMania 41 and the Raw after Mania, because I wanted to include that if I was going to talk about WrestleMania. Normally, the Raw after Mania has some fun stuff. This year's actually did, which is nice. So, just a quick little go through, what happened. Not so much the match quality, because I've come to learn I'm just a terrible judge of what is and is not a good match. So, if I enjoy something, who knows, it could have been terrible. So I'm just going to talk about kind of the general what happened at WrestleMania 41, nights 1 and 2, in Las Vegas. Did this one have a tagline? I don't remember. And we start things off. Jey Uso, yeet, defeated Gunther by submission, his own submission, for the World Heavyweight Championship in what was a fine match with a predictable conclusion and a not that great ending. What are they doing with Gunther, honestly? The fact that he just tapped out like that, I think that part sucked. Everything else was fine except for that, but that part sucked. This is not the same guy who was chopping Zack Sabre Jr.'s soul into the 15th row at indie shows, or anti-airing Will Ospreay into orbit. Walter would not have lost to Jey Uso. I'll put it that way. Moving on, we have a tag match. The New Day defeated the War Raiders for the tag team championships in a match that happened. And if I had any faith in what was going on with the New Day, I would probably be more excited with them winning the tag titles. They just haven't done anything with the New Day for me to be excited about it, but I am always hoping to be wrong, and I hope things are better than what I think they're going to be. So here's hoping some good stuff comes out of it. Moving on to the next match, Jade Cargill defeated Naomi. Good. Naomi winning wouldn't have made any sense at all. Jade Cargill winning was the right outcome, and that's all I really have to say about that one. Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight for the U.S. title. I love to see it. Don't get me wrong, I like both of those guys. But Jacob Fatu that's the guy. And you're going to hear me say that about a few other guys, but that is the guy, Jacob Fatu. I'm glad to see that he won the U.S. title in fairly decisive fashion, too. Like the moonsault into BFT was sick, and winning with the double moonsault was great. The moonsault followed by another moonsault. Jacob Fatu is a friggin' monster, man. He just can go at a ridiculous level. And I look forward to seeing him kick more ass as U.S. champion. And maybe bring back Contra while we're at... Yeah, it's not going to happen. And then in a surprise change of pace, seeing as how Rey Mysterio ended up getting injured the day before, we had the replacement wrestler, Rey Fenix, which good for him, man. Just joined WWE already in a WrestleMania match. But unfortunately, he was defeated by El Grande Americano, which, depending on your translation, is either the Great American or the Large American. And I'm going with the second one because it's funnier. It was too soon to have Americano. You know who it is. It was too soon to have him lose. Great showing by both men. And all around good stuff. Can't wait to see what else they do with Rey Fenix and the Large American. In your second to last match of the night, Tiffany Stratton, thankfully, this was the right outcome, thankfully defeated Charlotte Flair to retain the Women's Championship. That is my main thought of the entire match. That has been my main thought of this entire crazy build and feud, is that, God help me, Stratton needs to win, and she did. Again, the correct outcome, thankfully. Night 1 then closed off with a triple threat match. CM Punk being accompanied by Paul Heyman because that was his favor, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. In, I would say, the better of the two main events, but we'll get to that for night 2. Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Seth Rollins won via Paul Heyman punching everyone in the balls and everyone getting assaulted with a chair. It was great storytelling, great match, great outcome. The follow-up will be very interesting. I'll get to that in a little bit as well. But overall, night one, I would say the stronger night in most cases. And yeah, good stuff all around. I'd say a great way to start the weekend. So let's move on to night two. We ended night one with a triple threat. We start night two with a triple threat. Io Sky, defending Women's World Champion, defeated, and again, the correct outcome in my opinion, defeated Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in another fantastic match with, again, the correct winner. I say that because in the entire feud, Sky seemed like the afterthought third wheel, and I think it just would have sucked if that had been proven true and she had lost. So I'm happy to see that she retained the title and will be moving forward as champion, and again, good stuff, no complaints. In a match that surprised me with how good it ended up being, Drew McIntyre, complete with Doom the Dark Ages entrance, so he gets favorite entrance of the night for me, defeated Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight, which is just a street fight, no DQ. Why do we have to have so many names for the exact same stipulation? But anyways, again, fun stuff, fun match. Drew winning, good. Hopefully we can get a title on Drew now. Speaking of titles, that leads nicely into the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Mysterio, which I think he was the odds-on favorite, and sure enough, he won the Intercontinental Championship, defeating Finn Balor, Penta, and the now former champion, Braun, son of Rick Steiner, and a Tomahawk Missile Breaker, in a chaotic 4-way match, which saw Carlito die again. I think Breaker's killed him like 3 times now. He's always been the highlight of this for me, is just Breaker showing up and then spearing Carlito into pieces. But again, good stuff. I'm not entirely mad that Dominic won because I kind of saw it coming, but we'll see how that follows up with the whole Finn Balor thing, which Finn Balor deserves better, but I'm biased. Between his Bullet Club run and his NXT run, I really like Finn Balor, and I think he deserves better. But again, Dominic Mysterio won. Braun Breaker speared a lot of people into oblivion. Good stuff. In a surprise open challenge due to Kevin Owens' unfortunate neck injury, please get well soon, KO, Randy Orton faced, and you'll never guess who it was, say his name and he appears. I believe it. The match is over. Yeah, that was it. Joe Hendry showed up. We had about 3 minutes of action, and then he ate one RKO and lost. I like that it was Joe Hendry. I like Joe Hendry. You could say I believe in him. But he deserved so much better in that match. TNA World Champion. And he has a 3-minute match where he loses to one RKO. I mean, granted, he got some offense in. The match didn't overstay its welcome, but he should have gotten more out of it. And Joe Hendry does not need to go on an interview and defend that situation. You're the TNA World Champion, and he should have had a little bit of a better showing than that. But I didn't hate it, but I think it could have been a little bit more. And next up we have Logan Paul beating AJ Styles. So, context, I'm a huge AJ Styles fan. So, not happy. Not happy at all. The match was fine. The story was told well enough. Karrion Kross, honestly, out of all the people in this angle, I think Karrion Kross has come out the best for it after being real pissed off and cutting a worked shoot promo and being angry. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Hopefully it involves putting Logan Paul in a chokehold and never letting go. But other than that, it happened. You know, it's fine. I don't like Logan Paul, and I really like AJ Styles more. So let's move on. All right, next matchup, the women's tag team titles match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending and losing their championships to surprise partner Becky Lynch and the women's inconsequential champion Lyra Valkyria. What do you mean I said that wrong? Well, my feelings on the Women's Intercontinental title and how it's not being used very well aside, Bayley deserves better. Let's get that out of the way right now. She lost her WrestleMania match for a moment over the course of 24 hours, and I don't think the trade-off was worth it. Bayley deserves better. Other than that, fine. We had a decent match. Valkyrie and Lynch won. And boy, I hope they do something good with their tag title run. And in your big honkin' main event of the entire two-night WrestleMania extravaganza, Cody Rhodes defending the WWE no longer undisputed championship. It's just the WWE championship again against John Cena in a match that wasn't very good. So, predictable winner aside, because I think we all knew that John Cena was going to win, walk out with the title, and kick off the rest of the year potentially storyline of him being the champion and someone needing to get the title off of him before he retires. Putting that off to the side, the match that got us to this point kind of sucked, to be honest, and that is mostly due to the end of the match, which... First off, why is Travis Scott here? Can someone please explain to me why Travis Scott and his weird replica modern hardcore title are involved in this at all? Did I miss something between Elimination Chamber and now? I still don't get why he's here. Could someone please tell me? I'm lost. Help. So Travis Scott's here for some reason. Takes forever to get to the ring. John Cena has already knocked out the ref, driven Cody Rhodes into an exposed turnbuckle. Travis Scott interferes, eats across Rhodes. John Cena goes to hit Rhodes with the title belt. Rhodes catches it and then hesitates. Why? It makes him look like an idiot. Like, I get it. He's trying to go for the I'm a morally righteous, upstanding citizen. He bashed your head into an exposed turnbuckle and was going to hit you with the championship. I'm just saying, Bullet Club era Cody would not have let that slide and would have bashed Cena's brains in with the title, and that would have been hilarious. So Cena wins his 17th world title, which breaks the fake record of Ric Flair's 16 world titles, because it's actually closer to like 22 or something, depending on who you ask. So there you go. John Cena, 17-time world champion. So begins his reign of trying to hold on to the title until he retires so he can be the last real champion or reset the timeline or whatever. Where was The Rock? The Rock made this entirely about himself and wanting people's souls. And where did he go? You show up. You ask for Cody's soul. John Cena gives you his instead. And then you fuck off to do God knows what. Probably some sort of movie nonsense. And then, following all this, he has the nerve to give some sort of explanation saying that I don't want to be the center of attention. I wanted to leave it to them. Then A, why did you make it about yourself? And B, bullshit, I don't believe you. But that could be its own entire thing. Which maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll talk about his response, his explanation, which I don't buy for a second. Capped off night 2 with a crappy main event with a worse finish. I mean, I've certainly experienced worse WrestleManias. One of them was main evented by The Miz, and God, that entire card sucked. I suffered through Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler live, and that was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had. So it wasn't that bad by a long margin. Overall, pretty good weekend. Just a couple of low points here and there. And, of course, the main event sucked. It could be worse. And, of course, let's move on to the other big event that happens over WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania, which has gotten a reputation of being really, really good and featuring lots of cool surprises and returns and NXT call-ups and whatnot. Did that happen? Well, kinda. John Cena showed up, opened the show with all the supervillain stuff I was talking about resetting the timeline and gathering the Infinity Stones or something. I don't know. Randy Orton hit him with an RKO, which is interesting, but also, oh God, we're getting Randy Orton versus John Cena again for the 9 millionth time. But you know what? It's been long enough, and at least this time the dynamic is switched, so I'm actually interested. Jey Uso, yeet. He did that. He showed up. He did the yeets. Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso came out to congratulate him. Sami Zayn looking kind of longingly at the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think we're onto something there. And on the opposite side of that feud, Gunther murdered Pat McAfee. Yep. Put Michael Cole in a chokehold. Pat McAfee tried to stop him. And then Gunther just choked him to death. You know what? That's a pretty good way to recover from losing your championship, is just immediately go out and terrorize the announcers and choke one of them. But you know, on that, props to Michael Cole. Michael Cole looking the coolest he's ever looked. When Adam Pearce was telling him to go take some time off, and Michael Cole was like, I'm not letting a bully stop me from doing my job. Cue freaking Giga Chad music. Michael Cole, that is the coolest you have ever looked in your entire career. And then, for some reason, we had a women's tag team championship rematch where Liv and Raquel won the titles back immediately from Lyra and Lynch, causing Lynch to get really mad and turn heel and attack Lyra. Okay, why? I mean, my first thought was, why were we having an immediate title rematch? And then, why are we having an immediate title switchback? And then after the heel turn, I said, oh, that's why. Yeah, I don't think it was worth the trip to where we ended up. And again, I will reiterate that Bayley deserves better and should have had a WrestleMania match. As far as NXT call-ups, Stephanie Vaquer decided to challenge Io Sky to a match, and that got interrupted by Julia and Roxanne Perez. And then Rhea Ripley came out for the save, so it looks like we might be getting Sky versus Ripley again. Good stuff, nothing to complain about there. New Day, as new World Tag Team Champions, showed up and were challenged by Alpha Academy, which was entirely meaningless because Rusev has returned to WWE, and he is definitely channeling is the correct word. He is definitely channeling his Redeemer gimmick from AEW, and I like that. I really liked the Redeemer gimmick, so I hope he incorporates as much of that as humanly possible. He showed up and laid out Alpha Academy, barely an inconvenience. He's back. He's looking good, and I hope they do stuff with him, and I hope that his run, I hope he ends up in a better position than Andrade has. And then Dominic Mysterio had his first Intercontinental Championship defense, and he did defend it successfully with help from the returning J.D. McDonough. Glad to see that he's back after that nasty bump that he took. So glad to see that he's okay. Also, apparently Judgment Day is fine. Finn Balor's just fine with all of this, so let's see how much longer the Judgment Day story thing goes. And yeah, I haven't mentioned who he beat to retain his Intercontinental Championship because I'm not happy about it. It was Penta, and even with the interference, I wouldn't have had it be Penta, but oh well. And then to close out the show, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman were going to address the crowd, but then CM Punk and Roman Reigns showed up. Big brawl. Guy in a hoodie spears the daylights out of Reigns. It's Braun Breaker, which, in all honesty, I was hoping Braun Breaker would just show up, spear Jey Uso, and go for the world title. But you know what? This works too. Braun Breaker, another one of the guys. Like, he's just really good. And he's got everything you could want out of a top guy, even at such an early stage in his career. So him being paired up with Heyman and Rollins, I'm interested. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. It's looking to be some good stuff. I wonder if they'll call this the Dangerous Alliance. Probably not. And then nothing of real interest happened on the NXT afterwards, but then again, I wasn't really expecting anything. Oh, Joe Hendry showed up again. But yeah, that was my quick thoughts about the WrestleMania weekend, the Raw after Mania, and a little bonus tidbit about NXT. And with that said, the comments are open. What did you think of WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, Raw after Mania? You're looking forward to seeing Braun Breaker spear more people in half? I know I am. And are you hoping that they call it the Dangerous Alliance, or that Jacob Fatu might bring back Contra one day, under a different name, of course? Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. As always, I'd like to thank you for giving me the time You take care.